Hey, good morning, everybody. It's the Sunday before the big day, and it's another perfect day. Last night, weather-wise, was unbelievable, um, and I had a good night. Maybe not such a good night. Well, I was kind of hesitant whether to even have a video today and talk to you and things like that. But so I did want to touch on a couple of things that convinced me to do this video. First of all, last night in my send-off and get-together was a little disappointing, and maybe that's because of my own mind. The way everything went down. It wasn't a large amount of people, but that's never been my goal. I do want to say thanks to the folks that showed up to say goodbye. In particular, Ricky and Haley Smith have an amazing family. Their kids, Cameron and Tenny. She's the cutest little thing. I'm going to try to post some pictures. But they certainly didn't have to be there. They just met me this year through a baseball team, but just really a super family. Cam's a great ball player, and Tenny is just the cutest little kid in the world. So thank you guys for showing up. Maria and her daughter Sharon have showed up. Thank you guys very much. Um, I had Lisa, who's been a huge help with me and supportive, be there. Of course, my family was there, and I appreciate that. My friend Steve, really much props to him. Still pretty early here in the morning. He took an Amtrak train up from New York just to come spend the day with me and the family. Um, and it means the world to me. One of the great things about Steve is he has a memory that blows mine away in terms of remembering things, and that's one of the things that triggered me to do this video. I'll share that in a minute. I'm always so wrinkly on this damn thing laying back. Anyway, trying to think. I'm not trying. I certainly don't want to miss anybody that was there. Later in the day came just one of the best people anybody could ever know. I've worked with him for years. And there's something about when you're around people that just have the highest of character, it exudes in everything they do and how they handle themselves personally, professionally. So there's a gentleman I met years ago. His name is Jose Gomez, and this guy has become more than just a coworker and a friend, but he's family to me. And he brought up his wife and son, his sister, his brother-in-law, his brother, um, uh, their daughter, I think his aunt or his cousin, um, but just super people. And what really makes it funny is I talked about having some kind of barbecue. Well, I don't plan things out a whole lot. I didn't really prep a lot because I didn't know if it was going to be 100 people or 10 people. So I brought some charcoal with me that I had sitting in my shed for over the winter, and it was one of these self-lighting charcoals. Well, I guess the fluid that's on them eventually dissipates, and the charcoal wouldn't light for about an hour. We're trying kindling, we're trying everything. My friend Steve ran up to get some lighter fluid while Jose and his family showed up, and they took over the grill and they started, uh, blowing air on it and feeding the flames, and eventually the fire cooked on, and we had some barbecue turkey, which Isaac seemed to really enjoy. Isaac's about 130 pounds and can eat about 72 pounds of food a day. I don't know how he does it. Um, but we had some hot dogs. They brought some steaks, some short rib steaks that were just phenomenal, and it was just such a good day in terms of that. Um, Again, to my family that was there and participating, Heather and the kids, was just really, it meant a lot to me. Um, so I said it kind of was, maybe it was a little bit of a disappointing. Like, again, I kind of felt like an idiot that I can't get even some charcoal going on a grill. So that the fact that took an hour and a half for people to eat was kind of disappointing and silly. But on top of that, I'm probably leaving somebody else out too when I say they were there. One of the things that was important for me on this journey, again, there were certain relationships and certain people um, that over time, not them, I allowed myself to become a different person um, through the relationships or whatever. Well, one of them was my up and down romantic relationship, my ex, and it's been, it's been really, again, I don't know how you can go so high and so low with one person inside of a week, let alone a day, let alone an hour sometimes. But for me, it was important to make peace with everybody before I go in this. I want to do this with a clear head. So over the last week or so, it's only really been about a week or so, she and I have made some peace and come to terms with some things, which has allowed me to be able to really move forward without having the cloud that I was having, because I didn't really have closure on some things. So at the same time, there were people in attendance that really do love me, and well, they love me because I'm their dad, or they love me because I'm their friend, or they love me because they see me as somebody that, you know what, that's the kind of guy I'd like to have in my life. I don't know, and I don't really care, but as long as they love me. I mean, honestly, it's really just, I just want the people to be able to look at me and say that's a good guy, and I believe in what he's doing. Some people have really reached out for me in so many ways, but it was tough on a bunch of people, because when you care about somebody and you see somebody else there that they want to uh, assign the pain you've suffered to them, it's hard to let that go. On one hand, um, on another hand, it's hard for somebody to see that I was in their life at one point and I'm not any longer, and that my mind or my heart was at one point given to somebody that maybe didn't treat it as well as they could have or should have, or somebody else may have. And then conversely, I have to give huge props um, to her name's Jamie, to Jamie, for being there, because she knew that whether it's perceived or reality, that she was going to feel like she was an outsider at an insider's party. Um, but that didn't stop her from coming. It didn't stop her from making peace. It didn't stop her from helping me gain a little closer to whatever's going to happen. So on this journey, and so she deserves a lot of credit too, because nobody wants to go somewhere and feel like you're the cause of anything, or that people are looking at you funny or sideways. And for the most part, everybody was able to kind of let that pass and let that go, although it wasn't easy. And I guess that's the part that was disappointing to me too, because uh, maybe I'm going into this with some real naivete and looking at this through my kumbaya glasses, that we're all going to sit around and hold hands, and everybody's going to forget about any kind of hurt or pain or anything like that, and just kind of move forward with a smile and say, let's wipe the slate clean. I guess in theory, or in essence, that's what I'm trying to do. But I guess it's pretty unfair of me to think that everybody could do that. So to the folks that came out last night, I've got some videos. Sharon had like a three-wheel motorcycle. She took my son around the parking lot. He had a blast with that. I got some videos at the end. My kids and family were playing soccer with the other family, and that was nice to see. Again, that's what it was about. So that part will always be in my memory. Um, and then I'm going to talk about this morning, and again, a couple of special things that I thought were special. So um, anyway, I have somebody I want to call out on here, and I'm sure I'll get in trouble by somebody for it. But when I was 13 years old, I moved. Um, my mom got us a house, and we moved next door to this wonderful family, mother and three daughters. Um, and me and age groups were pretty close. And Doreen and I, she was a year older, but we were kind of for a couple of years, best buddies and things like that. And there are stories about her hitting me there with a rock, which she knows about. Anyway, we didn't know each other all that long. I do remember, never mind, I won't even say that. I do remember that she crushed a lot on some of my friends, and that's okay too. But she was a terrific person. But I'm not a Facebook guy. I'm not a, she moved, her family moved, and, we really didn't stay in touch. This was before the days of social media. Well, it wasn't until, again, my name is Jim Smith, so if someone's trying to try to look me up, you're going to have to really dig deep to find out who I am. Anyway, we touched base like 6 months, 8 months or so ago, and she's been nothing but positive. She's a friend on Facebook Messenger, and a friend, and but she really has taken to the journey, and she's somebody that reaches out with a positive statement, on at least an every other day basis. And I guess she asked me this morning how things went, and because I know she really wanted to be there. She believes in what I'm doing, and I know that she's going to see some family in Vermont today, and she wasn't able to be there, but she wanted to make sure I knew that she was thinking about the group and everybody. Um, but I said, well, it was a little disappointing, and I was wrestling with some things, and she said, well, just keep moving forward. And I have a book I'm going to talk about called The Right Words at the Right Time, and sometimes it's just something so simple that brings you clarity. And again, this has been something of a catharsis for me. Maybe yesterday was naive of me to think that it might be some kumbaya moment, but it is what it is. The people there handle themselves well. Um, I was able to speak to everybody individually, and hopefully, at least everybody can understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. Where I'm coming from, where my heart is, and things like that. So, thank you guys for that. And then the last thing that I have to kind of laugh about is I talk about sports a lot and how sports triggers um, so many different memories and things like that. And my friend Steve, who's in the house right now, is a huge sports fan. He's a huge New York Ranger hockey fan. Now, the New York Rangers won the Stanley Cup, I want to say in 1994, after many years of not winning the Cup. And I know that was one of his shining moments as a sports fan. I totally admit that while I admire the sport of hockey tremendously, I think it's the greatest sport to watch live. I don't get too caught up in the regular season and stuff like that, and I don't quite have the passion that he has for it. But again, how sports can trigger some stuff. And here comes Steve now, so I'm probably gonna put him on camera. So Steve, say hello. There's my Ranger fan. So what's up, buddy?
Who owns the Chiefs?
You're a mess, brother. Anyway, so here we are. We're getting ready, get the kids breakfast, and figuring out what we're gonna do and how we're gonna tackle the day. I've got to get him back to Amtrak, and lo and behold, I go into the bathroom, the shower, I put some music on, and there comes a song by Van Halen called "Right Now." And at that moment, as many times I've heard that song, it triggered me that the New York Rangers, when they would skate out into the ice for their pre-skate warm-up, would do it to that song. So again, that memory had escaped me totally. And then here we are last night at midnight, sitting in my living room talking about the Stanley Cup playoffs and the Rangers. And then 12 hours, not even 9 hours later, here comes this song that just triggers a whole nother memory. And I came out to Steve. It was that song, right? He goes, yeah, absolutely. So anyway, sports is always going to be something of a great thing in my life and everybody else's. So just a kind of a little thing about that. So anyway, guys, I love you, Kira, Grace, Landon. Thank you guys for being part of this. And today's going to be kind of a crazy day. Just going to be closing some doors, tying up some loose ends, and moving on from there. So, guys, thanks very much for listening, and I will catch up with you all. Well, hell, this time tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be catching up with you. Maybe I'll be live streaming some Facebook because I'll be, getting ready to get my stuff together and start the journey. So it's 5.5 months of unknown excitement ahead of me. So thanks, guys, again. Love you.